Well folks, you're looking at the flowers from this variety of Comfrey called Bocking 14 and they're set to bloom very soon and they are a favourite of the bees. This is going to be, or well, there'll be bees all over these flowers once they blossom. And as you can see here, I have quite a lot of it planted around. It's actually one of my favourite plants to grow, and I didn't think it would get this big, but it has gotten quite big, and in fact it's almost nearly buried what's in between it. So here I have like a little run of apple trees and pear trees, and you can't really see them because the Bocking 14 has gotten so big. I don't mind that for a couple of reasons. I'm actually one on that I'm going to chop this back, and that will then be mulch for this area. I'll chop it back after its flowers just so the bees can get their fill. The other reason I don't mind it getting this big is that it suppresses weeds. Now this site in particular is very weedy, and I could mulch all of this or even just put carpet down, but it's actually just much easier just to let this grow. It's almost like a biological way of getting rid of weeds or suppressing weeds. And not only that, it's a mineral accumulator, so it's very beneficial to the surrounding plants. It's one of those support species that you use in permaculture or guilds, and yeah, it's great. You don't really have to do anything with it once it's in the ground. It's there for life. You don't have to, feed it. You don't have to. It doesn't have any pests, or certainly no pests that I know of. And you can just chop it back every year and it'll come back as strong and as healthy as they are now. And I would chop this back probably about 2 times a year, so we're still in the month of May, so we still plenty of time during the season. I'll chop this back, it'll come back the same height, flower again, bees will have to fill, and then off it goes again, or I'll chop it back again. The other really good thing about this is that it's actually a sterile variety, so the seeds, they will not propagate, or they won't grow new plants, and as you can see here, there's loads of flowers in this, so it should produce tons of seeds, but as I said, they're sterile, so they're not going to grow, which is a bonus. It does spread via the root zone, but not so much. You can certainly keep it in check, and if you want to propagate it, just chop a bit of root off and Bob's your uncle, that's it. But yeah, I have to say, I think it's just an amazing plant. I mean, if you don't want a plant that gets this size, there are dwarf varieties, but they're not sterile. And I like the fact that I can just do a chop and drop in this a few times a year, and I have this free mulch. The other great thing about this is that you can make teas with them. So if you actually steep the leaves and the stalks in some water for a couple of weeks and then dilute that with water, there's your fertilizer for your plants. However, it does stink. It's probably the most pungent smell I've ever smelt in my life, so be warned. But yeah, there you go, and there's tons of it here, so just an all-around great plant and a definite must to have in the garden.